You're listening to Style as Identity.
Yes, we're your hosts. I'm Frankie Ikwuazom.
And I'm Lola Catero. So, is starting a brand on your vision board?
Or do you just love fashion and want us to talk nerdy to you?
Either way, we got you.
Join us as we get into aspects of the trade that you might not find online. We're uncovering truths from the founders and designers daring to build within their vision and values.
These brands, they're shifting our understanding of the style status quo. And the more time we spend with them, the more we expect from what we wear and the brands that sell them.
So, we're glad you're here.
Let's do this. Bree McKeen. Bree McKeen, founder and inventor behind Evelyn Bobbie, and responsible for creating the first ever underwire replacement bra. I mean, it's been like literally almost 100 years since underwire bras have been invented. We put somebody on the moon, but we didn't rethink our bras. It's so like us to focus on expanding our horizons outward, but not innovating on a product like bras that are so intimate and almost always with us. I'm over here looking at my bra asking, what have you done for me lately? Well, Bree, you, darling dear dreamboat, have done something lately. You made comfortable, ergonomic, flattering, innovative, and most importantly, data-driven bras. An actual wireless bra replacement with a weightless feel for all chest sizes. What drew Frankie and I to you, Bree, is your lean on data and innovation to create a customer-centric product. You go at lengths to help somebody find the right bra size, but then also, on top of that, you're offering 60-day free returns. And so, I mean, really, it got Frankie and I thinking about this and interrogating what it means to be innovative and asking, what is innovation without an end user to benefit? What is beauty that doesn't make somebody feel beautiful?
What an incredible introduction. I mean, thank you so much. Yes, gosh, Lola, you just touched on so many of the things that, I came into the bra industry not as a bra designer. And I'm so grateful for that. I came in with fresh eyes and a learner's mindset. And to some of the points that you just made, this industry was not human-centered. I was coming out of Stanford, so I had taken a bunch of classes while in business school at the D School, which is the design school, all about human-centered design. It's all about empathy, saying, how can I put myself in the shoes of the end user and design from there? And frankly, that's how I started. I didn't think I was going to become a bra entrepreneur, but I knew that at 2 p.m. every day, I wanted to put my 34G boobs on my desk. I knew that I was literally taking my bra off, not when I walked through the door, but in the car on the way home. I knew that I had red marks and pressure points underneath where the wire dug into my ribs. And just as you introduced, I am sitting here across from entrepreneurial teams that are pitching machine learning and artificial intelligence. Meanwhile, I'm scouring the world over, and I do mean world. There was really cool bra innovation happening in Japan and in Chinese markets, but not for bodies of my size, right? Different demographic. So I started to become obsessed with finding a comfortable bra. Why should I have to go to work, be in meetings, innovation-focused meetings, no less, for 12 hours a day and be uncomfortable? But as a woman in a male-dominated industry, I could not walk into those meetings without a bra. It's not even comfortable, frankly. Some level of support when you're busty feels good. You want support. So I couldn't walk in without a bra. And we'll talk, I'm sure, about what our bra actually does and why it's different. But wire-free bras meant floppy-doppy, smushy boob loaf, one big mono boob in the middle. And that was also not an option for me. And so here I am, like half of the population who needs a bra as gear for life. And I couldn't find anything that did even the basic job of providing pain-free support.
Which is crazy, but also we live in our lives and our bodies. So we know this is just one of the many examples. But as you said, it's one of the more important ones because it does make or break your day and your health, right? I have friends who have had to go through breast reduction processes and makes you wonder, was it out of literally, I don't have something that supports me. This is my next best option. That is a big option to consider. So, I mean, you mentioned wire bras. Those were invented in the 1930s.
Patented in 1931, Frankie.
Patented in 1931. Thank you. We're almost a century out from that. And if you think about the experiences that you just pointed out, that's a century of divestment, like a century of just not investing in something that is so core to how the support that we need. I mean, we think about like how bras are branded, and I know we're going to talk about bra culture too. Oftentimes non-wire gets another name, right? If it's a non-wire bra, you think of it as a bralette or a sports bra. So we love that you took this head on. And this is really what we want to get into. Like Evelyn Bobbie now has a 4-way stretch, supportive, seamless bra, carrying not only our chests, but also building on 6 patents of technology that make this possible. So how many years of research did it take to actually create this technology? And what were some of the most challenging aspects of bringing your first bra to market?
Well, I knew that I couldn't just take the wire out of a bra. There's a whole category, as you said, of wire-free, wireless bras. We are not that. We are the world's first true underwire replacement in 88 years. It's been more now because years have gone by since we've been in market, but there was an 88-year gap between the underwire patented in 1931 and the EB Core, which is my fully bonded kind of space age sling. It's a 3D sling that goes all throughout the underwire region of the bra and extends to contiguous support structures, bonded, stretchable, moldable support structures all throughout the garment. So it feels like a 360-degree hug. There's no hard parts. And it feels like, well, my design intention was to use anatomy and physiology to create something that felt like a second skin. And we have achieved that. Like, I got to tell you, this was my impetus on day one. I just want to be comfortable. I wake up every day. I pick one of the 30 comfortable Evelyn and Bobbie bras out of my drawer, depending on what I'm wearing. And I don't think about my bra. I put it on, I say, and then I don't think about it again for the rest of the day. But the support structure that would replace the underwire took years. And I literally went into the garage. My dad, my cute dad, it was my dad's garage. I didn't have a garage at the time, but we were using jigsaw to cut out like thin plastic sheeting. In my mind, it was going to be an alternative hard structure that was more ergonomically placed. And it took years to get to where we are today, which uses flexible, layered support, just like you would think about layers of skin and fascia and muscle that exist in your beautiful body to create natural, movable, expandable, and contractible structures. That biomimicry is really what we ended up using for our eventual design. But it took thousands of prototypes. We were 3D printing 0.5 millimeter thick plastic structures in different mesh structures. I mean, we tried literally thousands of prototypes. We have so many prototypes that we tried. And it was all along the same concept of how do we create 3D structures throughout the garment, but also most critically in that underwire region, but do it in a way that's going to expand and contract as you breathe, that will really work with your body, not against it. But the thing that blew my mind was that I filed the first patent for the EB Core sling. And these are utility patents. Maybe I should take a moment to explain the difference. So most of the time in the world of fashion, you're going to come across design patents. That's like the Burberry plaid. People still pirate it, but if you get caught, they'll take it off the market. So a design patent protects the way something looks. And you only have to alter that design by 30% for it to be allowable. A utility patent is harder to get, more expensive, takes longer, usually years, and it protects the way something works. So your iPhone has utility patents. I have 6 fully issued utility patents. So that's actually for the structure. I also have a bunch of design patents that says you can't make a bra that looks exactly like mine. But the utility patents are really the thing. And so when I filed my first utility patent in 2014, I was shocked when I got my first patent within a year. I thought it was going to be like a 3 to 5 year battle. And the reason why I got it so quickly was because there truly had been so little innovation in the space. And I always like to say, like, imagine if somebody told you had to use a 100-year-old telephone today. It's just silly, right? But here we are. And so then I got really curious about that too. I was like, what is it about this category that women are quietly putting on underneath their clothes, that we're putting 12-year-olds in quote unquote training bras to kind of quietly say, you know what? You're just going to be uncomfortable for your whole life and don't talk about it. Just get used to it. And I was like, no, we shouldn't get used to it. We should make something better. And not just in this category. And this is where you can't stop me from talking, not just in bras, but in women's products across the board. Let's start designing better products. Like, let's get after that mammogram machine. Surely there's a better way.
I think about that. My mammogram machine was called Christina 2 weeks ago, and it was this pink font. And I was like, what's pristine? And why did we add an A? And who named this? That's what I was focusing on when I was trying to not think about the pain.
You named it.
Right. I know. Too relatable. This is fascinating. And I did not realize that the 6 patents you advertise are utility patents. We've been talking to a lot of brands about their patents. And in an earlier episode, we spoke with T from Crave Pleasure Jewelry, who has patents as well. And we were discussing like whether they were necessary and the value of them. And at the time I made an analogy that definitely needs workshopping, but it was like we're wearing a raincoat that also has holes in it because of this sentiment that it doesn't prevent people from copying you, but it can protect you should you decide to pursue legal action. And what's your take? And do utility patents also operate in that way where it only protects you if you catch a copycat?
This is such a good question. And it's so juicy. I just love this question because I have so many thoughts. So first of all, should you get a patent? If you can get a patent, hell yeah, get a patent. And I will tell you that I do not think as a woman with a woman's product, I would have gotten the funding that I needed to get this off the ground if I didn't have patents. The first thing that my amazing investor, and I truly have the best investor, that is one of the things on my journey that I am so grateful for, because your investor can make or break the trajectory of your company. And we've truly had the best.
Sounds like you help your investor be great because you have a great product. Just putting it out there that
my investor was pretty great even without me. But yeah, I mean, we're a wonderful team and I wouldn't be where I am without my investor. But I was able to attract that investor. They did deep due diligence on my patents to make sure that they were both broad and defensible. And coming out of Silicon Valley, I knew that, right? Because otherwise, what is an investor buying? They're buying your idea or they're buying your speed to market. There has to be some advantage. And for me, it was my utility patent that said, hey, nobody else can do this without a stink. Now, a couple of thoughts. Yes, other people can copy you. And that is why you do have to be intentional with what information you share where. You'll notice that I talk about my patents all the time, because I'm making it very difficult for another bra entrepreneur to come along or a Nike or someone and say, oh, we didn't know they had patents. So I talk about my patents all the time. And I'm deeply aligned with my investor that we will take on somebody who challenges our intellectual property. I design around other people's intellectual property. There's a category, I won't say what it is, but there's a category I'm working really hard on right now. My team is up late at night studying the patents of other female entrepreneurs to make sure that we are not going to step on anybody else's patents and respect that, because we respect IP. So we walk it in both directions. But the thing about the defensibility of your patents, yeah, your ability to defend a patent in many ways in the United States is as deep as your pockets, right? So I do have an investor with deep pockets that is aligned on protecting my IP. But I think that the world has changed a little bit in one way. We have social media now. So I would say if a big company comes and steals Crave's design, I would say that founder can go raise a flag and say, hey, here's my patent. Here's my design. I'm going to bring this to the court of public opinion and let other people decide if they think it's okay for them to steal my design, right? Like if she doesn't have the, so I do think that there's another tool that we have, which is that people are voting with their dollars. And you can create, if you get into a David and Goliath situation with a big brand that thinks they can violate your IP, you do have that option to draw attention to it because people do care about entrepreneurs who work their asses off and stay up late to create something novel. And I believe there is a sentiment socially that people want to protect that creativity and protect those creators. And so, I agree with that it's tough to get in a big legal battle with somebody like a big, huge company that has endless money. I still think it's worth it.
Mm-hmm. Have you had to go to bat before? Have you come across a copycat?
I will say we have not come across a direct copycat. No, not yet, but I think it's coming. We also wrote on the inside of our bra, like if you turn one of our bras inside out, it's written EB Core right across that patented structure. And I also did that. I have my patents on my website. Like I've tried to do my part to make sure that you can't pretend that you don't know it exists. We just launched in Nordstrom and Belk. We're in Von Maur. We're in these amazing department stores. My hope is that next year, people will really know about Evelyn and Bobbie. By the end of the year, we will have a general level of awareness that people are aware of us. But it's an interesting challenge because in the world right now, there's underwire bras. It's still like 80% of the market, I think. And then there's wire-free bras, and we're not either of those things. We're a new category of bra. We're a full support bra that replaces the underwire. But there's so many women out there that say, I've tried wire-free, like that's not going to work for me. Because Lola, as you introduced, some women might have 20 pounds or even more of breast tissue. Like we're talking about an engineering job that the underwire used to do well or does well for them, not comfortably, but I want women to have it all. I think women deserve to feel beautiful, have the gear they need for life, and frankly, to be comfortable. Like I have a beautiful 14-year-old daughter who will only be comfortable in her bras. She started out wearing Evelyn and Bobbie. And when she puts something on, the first thing that we ask is, how does it feel? Not how does it look? First, you answer the question, how does it feel? It should feel pain-free. It should feel like you can stand up straight. It should feel like you can go do all the things that badass women do every day and be undeterred by their bra.
You brought up a really good point I'd love to dig into a little bit. So you're in Nordstrom, you have a digital presence. When you were discussing with them how to fall into their existing product navigation categories on the website, whether it's a drop down that says bras with underwire, or if a user is typing in wire bra, did you have to work with them to say, hey, like they might be looking for us, but they don't know we exist. So can you put us as an option on the search result, even though that doesn't represent our product?
They don't currently have a category for underwire alternative or something like that. We are showing up as wire free.
That makes sense, right? You're creating something new. So first you have to teach the user where they're at, what it is, and it's nice in Nordstrom because they could have not had as advanced of a team digitally to figure this out, at least what the first step looks like.
Nordstrom is amazing. And I have to say, it's been a dream for me. I used to shop in Nordstrom, right? I would always buy the best. And it's the fitting experience in Nordstrom. And we're also in 300 independent bra boutiques across the country. And I will tell you the best experience you can have, in my opinion, buying a bra. It's called Intimates for a reason. And our bodies are unique, but they are also all different. And so going in and having somebody who can help make it an easy, friendly, confidence building experience, I think is the best way still to buy a bra. As much as we've moved to a digital world, there's nothing like going in to a Nordstrom, having a professional bra fitter give you your correct Evelyn and Bobbie size and say, because there's little bits of nuance in our technology. Our bras have a 3-day break-in period. We call it the magical moldable bra because we're fitting over 115 traditional sizes in 7 sizes. So each bra fits a super wide range of bodies. Like a medium will fit from a B cup to a G cup. So It's really interesting, how you have to educate people when you truly create something innovative. It's new. So people have to learn it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And you earlier talked about asking, whether it was asking your daughter or asking other people, like, how does this feel before we even talk about how does this look? And your technology is super impressive and it's responsive. We would hypothesize that that also not only has to do with the science behind it, but also the fact that you fit test. And so what's your fit strategy like? And at what point in the product creation process do you deploy it to your fit testers?
This is such a juicy topic. Here's what I want to tell you, Frankie. The way that even the best bra companies in the world are doing this right now will blow your mind. So it used to be, and when I first started, and this has gotten a tiny bit better, I'll tell you exactly how much better. The standard for bra design was to make a 34B, and then there was a grade, which is a spreadsheet, an Excel table of how much bigger all the different measurements increase as you get bigger. That's how they would do it. They would perfect the fit on a 34B and then they would follow a grade. Now, some of the best bra companies are using 2 or 3 bodies to develop a style. From where I'm coming from, that is not enough. And that is why in many cases, when I was trying a 34G bra on, it wasn't fitting, I believe, in the way that the designer intended. I mean, first of all, I think having a 3-cent piece of steel jammed into your ribs with the weight of your breast, pushing it into, it's flat when you put it on a table. I just think we should probably question that idea overall. The point of our design is to be human-centered design. I'm designing for what I consider to be the population distribution curve that exists in my country. I was shocked when I first started that the biggest bra companies, many of them, when I started in 2014, the largest size that they offered, or even more strange, the largest size that they would allow to be on the floor in their store, which is a whole can of worms on its own, right? We don't want certain bodies shopping in our store. But 38 triple D was the largest. That's literally in the middle of the population distribution curve, meaning half of the bodies that present in this country are not being served. And I was like, no. We're going to serve all the women. We're going to serve all the bodies. You are perfect and your boobs are perfect. It's bras that have been getting it wrong. So let's fix the bras. And we immediately from day one, before we even had our design, we brought in hundreds of women and scanned them with a 3D scanner to observe the ways our bodies scale. And in apparel design, we have a couple of plus size designers on our team, and they always joke about the mysterious 8-foot woman who doesn't exist. Because as you design for bigger bodies, they just make the garment bigger and bigger. Well, that's not how our bodies scale, right? Like when I'm designing a 2XL bra, I'm designing for somebody who might be 5'1". She also might be 6'1", but we have to have fit models that come in from 5'1" to 6'1" and see how that garment performs. So do you want to guess how many fit models I have on my roster right now? Knowing that most bra companies have 3.
70?
60 to 70 is the minimum number of bodies that we will test on each style. I have a total of 260 bodies that we select from. And each new style will be fit on at least 60 bodies.
That is a high bar. Like your minimum is a high bar. And that's the way it should be. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's tough, and even then there are still things that we miss. There are still little details that I'm like, oh, once it gets in market, we're like, oh, that could have been an eighth of an inch bigger. But, we are paying attention in a way that I think very few companies are. Once you get to a size large, chances are you're working with a forward projecting belly. Chances are we've got rolls in our larger bodies, right? So let's accept and design for the realities of our bodies and make better products for everybody, whether you're a small bodied person or a big bodied person. It's one of the interesting things that does come up. People will sometimes ask, wait, but so you're going to serve all the bodies except for A cups? And it is something that we might look at in the future. So the way we measure the European way, which looks at the delta between your underband measurement and your full cup measurement. And an A cup means there's only like an inch of difference. So it's very little breast tissue. And we really set out from the beginning to solve for bra pain. And so when we chose our bill of materials, we chose pretty serious support fabrics. We do have a few of our styles in extra small that really work for smaller bodied people. Like our Bobbie Scoop bra comes in extra small. But in general, we haven't focused on A cups yet, right? The future is long because our essential bill of materials is pretty sturdy. And what we found when we started designing into the smaller sizes was that it was a lot of bra. Like if you're an A cup, you probably have a beautiful, delicate cotton bralette that really does the job. Maybe you've got something that gives you a little bit of shaping. But for now, because one of the things I've learned on my entrepreneurial journey is you cannot be all things to everybody. And so I do think about where do we go in the future and how many more problems can we solve?
Okay, Bree, help solve this mystery for us. 70 to 80% of us don't know our bra size. Why don't we?
I will tell you that it is not your fault if you're confused about your bra size. Surprisingly, you might be up to 8 different sizes across different brands, believe it or not, including European or UK sizing. So if you're unclear on your bra size, it is not your fault. The industry evolved around a 1933 band and cup sizing, which was novel and helpful in 1933 when it was created. Unfortunately, no standards were ever created. So I can show you 20 different underwires, right? Because it really, that band and cup sizing refers to underwire specific styles. That's where it came from. But I can show you 20 different so-called 36C underwires that are vastly different sizes. So it's not your fault. It's best if you are trying to understand your size. I recommend go down to Nordstrom or go to the specialty bra boutique in your area and have a professional bra fitter measure you if you really want to understand your current bra size. And I say current because our bodies change. If you gain 5 pounds or lose 5 pounds, your bra size will change. And that's actually one of the things that I wanted to solve for when we created the Evelyn and Bobbie designs. So we took 115 traditional band and cup sizes. We added, so I moved to Portland to start this company. That's where Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, that's where it's like a real hotbed of performance athletic apparel. And I now share my entire supply chain with all of the world's best performance athletic apparel companies, but I've applied those technologies to the everyday bra. What that's allowed us to do is serve 115 traditional band and cup sizes in 7 simple sizes, extra small to 3XL. Because the entire garment, it's got a pixelated bonding that expands and contracts based on the heat and pressure from your body. And if you gain 5 pounds or lose 5 pounds, guess what? Your bra still fits. So it's a little bit new and different to get used to this new category of garment, right? This magical moldable bra that flexes and adapts and moves with you. But I'll tell you what, when you have gone through the 3-day break-in period and this bra feels like part of your body, you can't go back. I used to wear an underwire bra once a month just to like remind myself about the good work that I was doing every day in the bra shop, but I can't do it anymore. I won't even last an hour because once you experience the psychological freedom, and I do mean psychological freedom of pain-free comfort that is just disappears in your mind's eye, you can't go back.
I love that. You just gave like an acceptance speech. I feel like.
Sorry, get me going, Frankie. I do. I get so passionate about it, because I just feel like better products are possible. They're possible. I didn't go to FIT. I didn't have a degree. I just believed that I deserved a better bra, and so did you. I really did. And I believe that if we were willing to, I call it the inertia of bad ideas. We get so lodged in our thinking as human beings where we're like, oh, well, this is the way that it's always been done. So therefore, this must be the way to do it. Hell no. That's the way things have been done that have gotten us to this result that we don't want. So we can't keep doing it the same way if we want a different result. We can't try a different version of the same thing and expect a different outcome, and I just believe in the infinite possibilities of creation. That's what our logo symbolizes. It's the two overlapping circles. It's the divine. That's what the logo is.
I love that. I'm so glad you mentioned your logo, the two circles intertwined. And we did our research and, we know one represents beauty, the other one represents purpose. And so it's this combination of both beauty and function, right? Which, the emphasis is often put on only one or the other, oftentimes only beauty. And so we love how much rigor you put into the process, and it shows in like the way you talk about the brand. So we are curious though, like, was there a time where you felt like you made something gorgeous that like couldn't quite nail the function?
All the time. I have worked on products for 18 months that we have ended up throwing out because I didn't, on hour 6, I was like, I want to take it off. So I will never give you, that is just like my logo promises, you get beauty, you get function. You get them both. And if I don't personally want to wear something for 12 hours, I'm not going to give it to you. I just believe that it has to exist. Now, we just brought back from the dead some of the samples that I'm talking about, and I'm not ready to talk about what it is that we're going to be launching, but we revived those old samples and said, okay, how can we add both improved beauty and improved performance to this garment? And now we're working on that, and it's going to come out we got a long lead time, but it'll come out in early 2026. And I'm so excited. So, you never know when something's going to come back around, but I will tell you that the world does not need even one more mediocre product. So you're not going to get them from us.
Amen to that.
That's true.
Well, Bree, this has been lovely.
This was fantastic.
Okay, Bree.
Thank you.
Bye, Bree.
Bye, Bree.
Bye, Frankie. Bye, Lola.
Hey everybody, Lola here. Thanks for listening. Style as Identity is part of the Majority Group, which is focused on spotlighting and supporting the brands that make us feel seen. In addition to this podcast, we offer business and strategy advice to brands, have an investment arm, and more. Basically, we want to see you win and do what we can to make it happen. For more info on us, head to themajoritygroup.com. Love ya.